Welcome to another edition of Dizzarian Plays MMOs. Today I'm in Lord of the Rings Online, and I'm on my level 11 Minstrel, and pretty much where I left off, except that I have moved down to Stoke. I want to wrap up this loose end about that fake Black Rider. That storyline just cracks me up, so I wanted to find out what was going on with it. And it looks like he's inside this tavern here. Welcome to What Can I Get For You? Well, I'm just here for this Fogo guy.
Goodness!
Ah, well, I guess you found out my little secret. We thought it would be so much fun. See, I met this fellow a few days ago while we were drinking. Called himself the Chief, he did. He said he was an old friend of Odo's, wanted to play a little joke on him. Told me to go get back the Black Coke and gave me some money to haunt Odovakar's farm by night. Well now, surely you don't think I meant any harm. I never. The chief fellow. I haven't seen him since. Come to think of it, at least I got some spare money for the beer out of it. Oh yes, I promise not to do it again. Those wolves almost got me. I won't be running around the night anymore, that's for sure. Okay. So that's going to wrap up that quest. Now we're going to go back up and continue the prologue, the aid for the heralds. And if you remember right, it's because they wanted compensation for Mondo's problems in Archit, and then the Sackfield Bagginses they wanted the money, and they were worried about the mayors because they weren't doing what they thought to, and well, there's a goblin problem over here, so we went to go look at the goblin problem, and it's kind of crazy. They think this old chief goblin is out with no head and everything else, so we're going to take a look at that. Alright, so for a reminder again, Helaros camps on the green fields in copse. I don't know that word. Of trees that can be reached by following the stone wall east out of Broken Brig, Boring, and north off the road. Bounder Primstone has asked you to speak with Helaros as hunter, who has been camping out at Greenfields, if he knows if the pointy rock has any significance. So the pointy rock they think is a tooth from the goblin, but of course that doesn't make much sense. Because it says, while Bounder Primstone did not believe Pansy Tunley's story of goblins in Greenfield, he still thinks it would be wise to investigate her sighting. So we're going to go down here and see what he thinks about this stone tooth. And he's got some goblins here. That's a little...
What do you need?
What is this? A goblin tooth? It's a pleasure to meet you, but I must confess that I have already come across the goblins in the Shire, as you can see. This was just a scouting party, but there is sure to be a larger camp of creatures somewhere nearby. We must deal with this threat before the goblins rally their courage to attack the nearby towns.
How can I be of
agree.
service?
Ooh, we're going to get nice items. While I'm not from the Shire, my kindred are sworn to defend its folk against all threats. I am what the folk of Bree would call a ranger. If you will aid me in my task, you will have my gratitude. The goblin encampment must be somewhere to the north, but I have not yet had the opportunity to track these goblins. We should each set out on the opposite direction and search North Greenfields. If you find an encampment, thin their number as much as you can, then return here to my camp. I will do the same. For the sake of the good folk who make their homes in this peaceful land, I hope we find the lair of these goblins. Okay, so we're going to figure out why there are goblins around. I didn't think that there would be, but I guess there are. Of course, all ill things are happening here now with the ring and such on its way back to Sauron's hands. I found another Mongo, but this is Mongo Burrows, and he's lost his sheep in the goblin camp, so I'm going to go ahead and take that, and even though it says it's a group quest, maybe I can, maybe I can't. They're pretty serious about their group quest here, in that they're hard, but I found the goblins here, so you can see they've actually got a little camp set up with leather fences and stuff, so we're going to see if we can beat them here. Let me get off my pony. Boom. So they're not too terribly bad. I'm gonna go ahead and kill another couple here and see what happens. Yeah, Minstrel's pretty powerful. I'm not sure I quite get the ballads and stuff yet, so if there's a pro Minstrel out there who can give me just a little bit of a hint in the right direction, I'd really appreciate it. Leave it in the comments. I also wanted to point out there's all sorts of deeds which are like achievements in Lotro, and they unlock as you are doing things. You can see just here in the Shire alone, I've already got several of these going right now. You don't have to track them. You can add them to your tracker and actually follow up on them, but you don't have to. They just kind of happen as you do things. You can see here, one of them I just unlocked is Goblin Slayer, and that's in the Shire. And there's different ones. I mean, there's skirmish, there's all sorts of things, and there's multiple tabs. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of deeds that there are. And when I complete this, when I defeat them, see, I have to defeat 30, I'll get 5 Lotro points, I'll get a title, and increase my reputation with the hobbits. So that's just pretty cool. This is really quite a large camp of goblins around. You can see a huge tree there, but they've got a ton in here, and I'm surprised. I thought there was going to be just a small little here and there, just a hint of the Goblins' presence in the Shire, but it's quite substantial, actually. And here's the fella's you. Alright, so he's going to be following me out. I've already killed enough goblins, but hopefully he can get out of here without too much problem. Alright, let's tell Halros of our news.
What can I do for you?
You've returned, and not a moment too soon. I'm afraid to say the Goblin President's much greater than I expected. Me too? That's what I was just saying. There are already 2 camps of the creatures in the Greenfields. The goblins are led by the chieftain, as you might expect, but I have come across something unusual. There are whispers that the chieftain reports to someone else. I have not learned the identity of this mysterious figure, but he does not seem to be a goblin, which troubles me. Yeah.
How can I be of service?
2 goblin encampments. I cannot understand what would bring goblins to the Shire after so long in such numbers. Bounder Primstone must be warned of the grave and threats these goblins pose. Go to Watch House in Brookenbridge. Is it Brookenborings? And give him these tidings. Just head back along the wall, all to the west. His town will be the first, yeah, I know where it's at, to fall if the goblins attack, so he deserves as much warning as we can give him. Warn him to be wary, however, not to wag his tongue too much. It would do more harm than good to panic these people. Okay, so we're going to head back to town and tell them what's going on. There he is.
How do you do?
2 camps of goblins? Things are going from bad to worse. I was much happier when I thought Pansy Tunley was just seeing things again. What is happening to the peace and quiet of the Shire these days? You best go to Scary, down the road east of here, and find out from Wilcom Tunley what's going on at the quarry. I don't like the stories I'm hearing about the skull they found down there. I'm pretty sure the rumors will just add to Pansy's. Ah, so the rumors of goblins are getting thicker. So I've made it to Scary. I don't think I've been here before either. Look, they've got some contraptions here. It looks like a big quarry on the side of the road, or on the side of the hill. That's really pretty neat. I've not seen this before.
Hello.
Welcome back to Scary. Trust me, I haven't been here. You want to know about the skull? Well, as it happens, my workers broke through a wall in the back of the cave down in the quarry, and a whole swarm of huge spiders came boiling out. As my lads were running from the cave, one of them noticed a skull sitting on a pile of rocks. I just know the skull has to be evil. Why, I bet it's what's called all these spiders in the quarry in the first place.
Please, stay a moment.
Ooh, level 12. It looks like my sister, Pansy, wasn't too far wrong after all. We've got Goffimble's head in that cave. Remember, he's the big goblin that they had problems with, that they took his head and everything else. You've got to go down in the cave, down to the bottom of the quarry, and recover that skull. My lads mentioned that a strange mist covered the floor of the room where they found the skull. I won't blame you if you bring friends with you. In fact, I encourage you to do so. The spiders have really made themselves at home in the quarry, and who knows what other evil Gulfimble's head might stir up down there. Except... Alright, so this is another fellowship quest. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I didn't have problems with the previous one. So hopefully it's not too bad. So here I am at the edge of the quarry. We can look down and see that there is indeed a cave down there. And there are spiders everywhere, but we don't care about the spiders. We are here specifically for the skull. So let me get to the bottom and go in the cave. I'm running in. Okay, so we got inside here, and there are immediately a lot of spiders. So we are going to have to fight our way through all of this. Or at least I am. And it's going to be a lot of it, I think. So it should be very interesting. So it's going to go like that for the most part. If I find anything interesting, I'll come back. Oh, look at that. That's the queen. Is there only one queen, or have I already found her? If so, she did. Pay attention to my health. Yeah, I'm not getting this combat down quite yet. Alright. I know I haven't pointed it out yet. I got a new deed. But you haven't seen me loot anything, because you don't really loot. It automatically loots for you. And what you get is this little container over here. And this is pending loot. So you can see these are all the things that I have looted so far. And they're not actually even in my bags. They're just sitting right here. And you have up to an hour to claim them. So you can empty your bags and do all sorts of things when you need to gather it up. It's a little way, since their inventory space is very tight, it's a way to determine what you want to loot, what you don't want to, so you could actually destroy like this blackened filth if you didn't want it. But for me, I'll go ahead and loot it all. Those are all task items. You can do up to 5 tasks a day, and it's basically like fetch 10 items of one thing, but you don't have to take it until you actually... or you don't have to... Yeah, you don't have to take the quest until you actually have the item. So you can go up to a task board and do that. Aha! Here's another queen, and look. There's a skull. Let's see. Let's go ahead and kill her. Easily. That one spell is so powerful. That call to fate. Man, it's so big. Make sure nothing's around. Gonna sneak up on me. Ooh, and the music. Alright, so I'm gonna climb back out of here and bring the skull. You'll see on these have little symbols. I could actually, I think it's like, I don't know, pennies, but you can buy these. Actually, let me go ahead and pull that up. So these are mithril coins. So let's go ahead and search for a coin. So you can see, you can get 5 of them for 50, which is, that equates to maybe 50 cents. So maybe 10 cents. So you could actually buy a bunch of these and use them for different things to make your life a little bit easier. Like we could go immediately back there, but I don't use them for those kind of things very often, unless I'm like in a hurry or, I'm just tired. So let me go back up there myself. Alright, that's actually a very fast climb back, so let's see what Welcome Tunley has to say. You made it out of the quarry? I was a bit worried. What with all of the spiders about? I see that you found the skull. It certainly is a hideous thing, isn't it? I can't tell if it's a goblin skull or not, but it does seem to be missing a tooth. Missing a tooth? Oh dear, Pansy told me you found a goblin tooth in the rabbit hole in Greensfield. This must be Gulfimble's head. Rolled all the way down in the quarry for the rabbit hole. It landed in during the Battle of Greenfields hundreds of years ago. You've got to take this to Brombard Foxtail in the Matham House and Michael Delving. Bullroarer's Club is on the display there, and I'd wager old Gimfumble hasn't forgotten Bullroarer's mighty club. He won't try anything while that's at hand. Very cool. There's a lot of lore going on here, and you'll recognize a lot of that if you've read the books or even caught a glimpse of it kind of in The Hobbit. They mentioned some of that kind of stuff, but not a whole lot. So we're going to go, I guess, to Michael Delving, right? Is that what it said? Yeah, we're going to be going all the way down here to Michael Delving. So I'm going to catch a horse and head that way. So another, since I was talking about these task items, you can see right here, here's a task board. I'm in Hobbiton, and I can look at, like, I have some that have several over 10, like, here is light car paces, so I can look on the task board and I can see, there's light car paces. I accept that, and if it doesn't freak out on me, then it immediately becomes available, or immediately is completable, and then I do it right here.
Is there something I can do for you?
Finish now. And you can see I've earned 90 experience for a total of whatever. Your reputation with the Matham Society has increased. And some of them do give a reputation. So that's how task board work. Okay, so I've made it to the Matham house here in Michael Delving.
How do you do?
What did you say this was? Gulfimble's skull. My goodness, this is very significant find, Dizzing. Even if it doesn't make for a rather unpleasant Matham. This is a bit of strange coincidence, though. The Gimvundle skull to appear on this particular day. I was consulted about Bull Rowers Club just a few hours ago. What? I gotta pick one of these. I think it's gonna be that. Yep. Have
Hello
you
there.
met Bunder
Might I speak
Primstone?
with you
I
a
have.
moment?
Runs the watch house up in Brockenborings. He came by a few hours ago and asked to borrow the Bull Rowers Club. Normally, I don't lend things out since I like folk to visit Matham House if they're interested in seeing something, but Primstone is very dependable. Some of the young hobbits up in Brockenborings have expressed an interest in the Battle of Greenfields, apparently, and Primstone wanted to show them the club Brower used to knock off the head of Gulfimble. If you think it should be brought back to keep Gulfimble's skull company, you could mention it to him in the watch house in Brockenburings. Okay. So we're going to go back and see what's going on with that. All right, dude. What's the deal?
A lovely
You've caught
day,
me
isn't
at a
it?
bad time, afraid. I was just about to step out. Oh, all right. Yes, I borrowed the Bull Rowers Club, and I'm sorry that I had to lie to Bombard about it. But if Gumfimble has really come back to life, this club is the only thing that might scare him out of the Shire, don't you think? I'm going to the goblin camp you found and get to the bottom of this once and for all. No, I don't want you coming along. You can tell that hunter, Howrose, that I've taken care of the goblins soon, if he'd like. You deserve some thanks for finding those camps. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea for him to go wandering around alone, and we're going to have to save his butt in the next episode. So I'm going to stop it here. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm really enjoying this, so I hope you're enjoying it just as much. Make sure you leave any comments. If you want to help me out on how to use my minstrel skills, please do. I need help. Also, if you haven't yet already, make sure you subscribe. I've got a lot of videos coming out. I got a lot more of this coming out. I don't see myself stopping this in any time soon. So you want to make sure you subscribe so you can get notification of that. Till next time. Bye.